Friends, fiends, when last we spoke, the party had returned from a tragic stint at the opalescent menagerie and had some zone of truth moments with Fetter's Aunt Fee. We pick up right at the lift as it descends back into Sky Point proper. What's in store for our heroes? What ramifications of their wild night out? Guess you'll have to listen and find out what happens next in these Demon Days.
So it's about 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. The elevator down from the Neil gently descends. And you have but maybe a moment or two while you descend to finalize any plans. Fee is towards the edge, sitting down, looking a bit deflated from the events of the evening. Your guys' zone of truth session and just stuff that she mentioned to Yusuf in passing. Everything's kind of a bit of a downer as you're going down. And that's where we'll start.
Well, Jesus. Okay. Right. So, while we're moving, we headed to the carnival. Is that what we're doing? Do we have to make any bypasses? There's a lot. We need to. There's a lot happening very fast. We should collect our thoughts. But yeah.
I need to at least go get Maz's body. Showing up with Nax and not him as well could go very badly.
Fair. We need to definitely reiterate that this is happening to us and not us doing anything to them. Great. So, well, we've got 2 Bonhams down out of 3, theoretically. We've got a bunch of people distracted away from the mining operation under the yawning portal. I'd love to at some point figure out that who knows how long it'll take for Vicious to...
Let's clarify, it's the gaping maw.
Oh, the gaping maw, not the yawning portal. Oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Gaping maw.
There's the mining operation under the gaping maw that needs to get sorted out. Very selfishly, I probably should know that House Temper is probably scrambling, try to figure out where they were holed up and get a hold of all of their ledgers and things, but that's minor priority at this point, and, well, fuck. What do we think? Is this all-out war? Are we... I mean, hopefully, my hope, and thank you for letting me make a bit of a scene back there, but I just needed it to not be pinned on us, but I still feel like that the crown may choose to make us, the 3 biggest persons of interest in this whole debacle.
Deja vu.
Deja vu.
Serious deja vu.
Okay, so off to Hous. We should probably check on Kiki too, I suppose.
Do we?
Yeah, well.
The elevator gently reaches the ground, and you see before you a fairly empty street. Most everyone down here in this area is asleep, and there's not much activity. It's kind of a nice little time of free movement without any real noticing or any real, without any sort of threat at the moment. Tazlin, at least your streetwise kind of sense of any sort of danger, not sensing anything.
Yeah. So on the way there, I'll kind of pull up on next to Taz and I'll be like, should have mentioned it first, but things were happening very quickly. I did reach out to my family to indis those of us of a certain stature, particularly to avoid any issues with counter processing and soul contracts. We can put in a request for information on ownership of a soul. So they're looking to see to whom Nax was tied to. So if he's coming our way, I'm gonna figure out a way maybe to intercept. I don't know. We may end up having to head to the hells. I just want to, and I just like kind of reach out and like, I'm like, I will do everything I can to help get him back.
I like reach up and I just kind of cup your face and I'm like, I don't think we have to worry about that.
Okay. All right.
I just like kiss you and I go, I really love that is your first thought, but we don't have to worry about that.
Okay. All right. And then we'll continue.
As you guys are walking towards Hous, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
As you're walking to Hous, slight zigzagging, Feder, your journal goes off. It's just like
Ring, 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 journal phone.
No. I listen. If anything, if Feder is anybody, that shit is on vibrate.
Yeah.
There is no. I'm not one of those ringtone people. That shit has been on vibrate.
Do you have a pocket that it's just like slightly in the front of the
Oh
thigh?
yeah, and it just like just right in that.
It's kind of like when you're on your phone and you're on a web page that still uses Flash, and the phone just really starts to heat up. It's like an immediate kind of a heat pulse, like a
Sure.
not necessarily a voot, voot, but it is hot enough to where even in your resistance you would notice. Anyone else having your notebook would be like, ouch, this hurts. But there's a note, and it is from Tiamek, and she mentions that she can't find any particular soul in the registry by the name of Nax or any sort of drow, and there doesn't seem to be any activity surrounding that, suggesting to her, and she says that he's not down here yet. ... Okay. And that's all she wrote.
Any response to my note about the power vacuum and the dead king and all of that? Or just, I mean, everybody's reacting in real time, but
Yeah, nothing just yet. It's on red, as it were.
sure.
But essentially, that was the easiest thing to locate and deal with on your request.
Sure.
And the rest might take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But Tiamek is not sleeping at any sort of regular schedule that you can tell based off of those responses, so maybe she's on it. But you have given her a lot to research too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, doesn't take.
We're going about this quickly but stealthily, correct?
Yeah,
Is that
I mean, why not get our first roll for this episode and do a stealth check on everybody? Guess Phil will have to do it too, huh?
Hey, you're not wearing armor right now, Yusuf, so you
true,
might have a
I'm
chance.
Not disadvantage for once.
Nope, rolled a 1.
Jesus fuck. Well, let's hope that my 24 can help offset that.
Oh, hey, I rolled a 1. I'm just distracted.
Yeah, you're kind of making up the slack for everyone, Feder. You've got your eyes out, and you're kind of guiding everybody a little bit, especially when you notice that every now and then that Yusuf will start clacking a bit on some of the looser stones, and you start to guide him a little bit.
Hey,
as you move along, and
I love you both profoundly, but focus up, goddammit. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, it's the Hous.
I know it's been a very odd night, but we're not out of the woods quite yet.
I know. I'm sorry. I know I sound like a horse-drawn cart. I'm sorry.
Yeah. To that end, I will, as we take a corner, I will slow up temporarily.
Sure.
To half my movement. And then do an eye for detail check to see if anybody is following us.
Sure. Roll that beautiful beat.
Oh, hey, that's a natural 20. Which just makes that a 31, John?
31?
31?
No one would be able to get the drop on you if they were following you, but no. You guys, you're doing a pretty good job in your stealth and guiding everyone. Similar to paths that you've seen Tazlin take and maneuvering, you haven't seen anything. Everything's very much quiet. Your perception can kind of pick up some faint noise up in the Neil.
Right.
Like distant kind of booming. Not like explosions so much as just shifting. And
Right.
some noise of the evening. But other than that, you guys kind of are passing by everywhere, pretty much free movement. And you reach Hous with no trouble. No one's following you. You don't notice anything. and Hous is unattended. Well, it tended well enough. You've got Kiki chilling against the door frame outside, just looking up at the stars and the sky and the moons. And what you can kind of see in this little alleyway. And she sees you guys approach eventually. You're pretty much at her. Oh, hi. How was it? She asks awkwardly.
Could have been better.
Fee just walks inside, bumps into Kiki a bit, and ignores her completely.
Right, well...
She sees the body. You're carrying bodies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has an axe right now.
He has an axe, and Maz is here. You deposit...
Maz is upstairs in the bed.
bedroom.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
She sees another body. Oh no. That's not good.
Right, so a lot to catch up on very quickly. The king is dead, but it may have been for some time. Because I had written a handwritten letter that I was going to get to Kiki. Let's see. So I'll hand it to her as well. I was like, so here's what we have.
Yeah.
We think that Bonham has managed to split his persona into multiple people. 2 of the 3 of them right now we know are dead. There's probably some way of him reviving himself, I'm sure, so he's not completely out of the picture. But what we want you to do, now I would say, is to try to gather as many good people around you that you can, and there's going to be an odd power vacuum. So there are members of the royalty, members of the court that you trust. I think you need to try to band together. And again, I know that this is a lot of trust to put onto you, but I think that you're a figure that the city knows and looks to. That
She looks a bit incredulous at that statement, at least.
right.
And she'll try an insight.
What am I?
Versus any sort of deception you might be doing on that. Just the compliment that people hold her in high regard.
Right.
She's never really known that. So there's kind of a sense of, what are you saying?
Right. I mean, I'll roll. That's a nat 1. So
Nat 1?
that's it. That's it. Well, but hey, guess what?
What?
Deception is something that I have proficiency in. So reliable talent makes it a 10.
Okay.
Again, you can roll against that.
No, that's fine. It works.
Unless you want to.
I can help him out and give him advantage, just simply because I'm like sitting there, like dead-eyeing her.
Which would make it a 17.
Sure.
Or it's a crit, fail. But I'm just saying that that would become a 17.
I'll go with it. I'll go with the 17. Yeah. With the help and all that. She seems like a little skeptical to some extent still, despite that, but is willing to go with it. Like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And lets you continue that she's well respected, well liked. That was kind of the main sticking point in terms of she has not experienced being very well liked. Maybe well loved on, but not liked.
But so again, I think now is the time.
I mean, maybe if she didn't stick her vagina on my dad's dick, it would be a different scenario.
Hilarious.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, now is we find ourselves in a very unique opportunity, and I think that we need to act quickly. So, whoever you can marshal.
Okay.
I have a feeling that what may happen is whatever still exists of Bonham or his cabal is going to try to tighten down their grasp on the city almost immediately.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can see here that Nax has fallen, so the sink is going to be in a bit of chaos as well. So
and she connects the dots. That's Nax. The guy.
I just glare at her and I turn to Yusuf and I'm like, Yusuf, could you please come with me? And I walk into Hous to go upstairs and get Maz.
Okay.
So
I kind of look at her as I'm walking past, at Kiki and just kind of shake my head like, don't. Just stop talking.
She nods.
So yeah, gather who you can, gather who you trust. But things are going to be in a bit of upheaval right now, and we're in a very unique position to maybe try to make some good out of all this chaos.
One question I do have. The people who attacked me and did this to my eye, are they still on the hunt? Are they still looking for you guys or me even?
Oh man, above table, who? It was the blackguard, right?
It was Kania that
it was the
shot her,
blackguard kid that shot her because they saw her looking at us. Was that the?
They saw her looking at them. She was voyeuring a bunch of people just as she does, and then back when she had her broom.
God, what was that?
I think we're
Before I broke it.
Yeah.
I think we're 3 out of 4 on them as well, or is it 3 out of 5?
3. Well, no, it was the 5-fingered hand, one of which is turned to stone in our courtyard, right?
Yep.
And then who?
So 4 out of
Remind
5.
me, John, just because like we haven't the things haven't come out. Who died on the?
So you had there you
Both.
took out three of the
3 of the 5. So
3 of
there's
the 5.
one left.
One left.
And it's pretty much Big Boss, right?
Big Boss is left. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Barnock.
Yes.
Yeah. So not their numbers have been greatly diminished, and we did manage to strike out and
Okay.
lessen their number. So
So I should be safe, relatively safe.
you should
if I,
be safe.
Okay.
Yes. I think their attention, now that we've decimated their numbers, is going to be focused more keenly on Yusuf here.
Okay.
So,
I need to get some things back at my place before I do this. Is there a danger to going back to my place and grabbing what I need? And
you can go. Be very careful.
okay.
I would. Strength that now is going to be in numbers, so find a trusted companion or two to stay with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to find something, and I'll.
I'm tempted to like. Do we? Where? I was like, where are you living? Where?
I've got a shack above an old tavern full of some old timers. It's rough.
Where in
to piece
town?
together. A ways in it. Give me a second to look it up.
I saw, looking at the map, I saw Fury Parish, and I immediately read that as Furry Parish. And I was like, why haven't we gone there?
Jesus.
The Yiffing Portal? No. Is that a thing? Is that anything?
God. I mean, it is now.
Yeah,
Or
now it's a
the
thing.
wistful wang diddle.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Oh, yeah. There's a big difference.
Turning all my places into
Yeah, that's one of those change one letter Twitter gang. There's a big difference between going to the Wang Doodle and the Wang Diddle.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
You heard
now
it here
my-
first, folks.
Now my brain went to the Sapphire Ram part being the Sapphire Ram fart,
Oh my god,
which is real dumb.
man. Yeah, but
That's not sexy at all.
But
I mean,
listen-
No, it's not.
listen.
somebody's into it, but
Hey,
No one at the
sometimes too much air gets up
Yeah, I
there.
was gonna
and
say,
you just gotta.
How,
like,
if we've all had a little ram
it's
fart,
the-
you know what I
it's
mean?
the
Like,
it's the Sapphire Queef.
my God, it just means we're doing it. It just means you're doing it right. You know what I mean?
She mentions
I
the
apologize, everyone.
I do not.
I know you
apologize
don't.
for
That's
any
why
of
I'm
it.
doing it.
there was
As
no,
they high five across the table.
no apologies. Kiki turns to you from looking around and taking a moment to be distracted by humor. It's a place called the Rusted Daffodil. It's a really tucked away place in kind of more towards the southern end of town and easy to lose track of.
Inside the walls, yes.
Yeah, inside the walls.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out if we.
I have to time for a second because
Yeah.
the Rusted Daffodil made my brain go back to the fact that I'm very glad that you did not name the episode where I talked with Esvel Moonpetal. I was sure you were gonna
Oh,
do it,
yeah.
and then you didn't, and I was like, oh, okay.
I would be lying if I didn't say that. I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't any sort of restraint in place on myself.
Do I send her alone? Do I send her? John, can I dig deep into my character sheet and use my... Because I know that the other two aren't going to want to take this sort of detour. And I'm working on this, like, dumb project of my family's. The criminal contact part of my criminal spy background. Have a reliable, trustworthy contact who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. You know how to get messages to and from your contact, blah, 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 blah. Can I find somebody outside very quickly? Like a rapscallion or maybe a member of one of the gangs that we don't hate? Like,
Okay.
like maybe someone, is there like a free roaming someone from the carnival or something like that I can just quickly do a look around outside at 3 a.m. and see if there's anybody there that I could pay to be an escort for her? Not that kind of escort for once.
I love that. I was about to like go up to the mic and make a comment about it being an escort, and then I was like, nah, Kiki doesn't deserve it. Johnny.
Despite your passives and your abilities and all that, it's a pretty empty space outside of this alleyway that you guys go through to get to Hous. This is
No
really
one,
just
no
like
one wants to be around the Mimic House.
See, John, the problem
As a
is
general rule.
this is a bad hour.
we were all, I would send her off on her own, but some motherfucker sitting behind a DM screen decided that when we didn't do something in time, an NPC got killed. So
Wasn't me this time.
I see.
I mean, I'm okay with her getting killed, so.
yeah, I know you are, which is why me going like, hey, can we just take her to her house? You know, oh, maybe up. Wait, you know what? I'll go upstairs. I'm gonna watch me lawful good your ass. All right. Well, with things afoot, is there anything else we need to get here? Is everybody good? We ready to get on the?
I imagine during
We're
that
still
brief exchange-
upstairs.
I'm heading upstairs
he
to
came
you.
upstairs to talk to us.
Okay, so then is there anything you guys are
So-
discussing before he gets there?
Yeah,
There's a few
because
minutes.
we get into the bedroom where Nax has been, or not Nax, Maz has been laying on the bed, and I just turn to Yusuf and I'm like, I will carry Nax, and if you wouldn't mind, would you carry Maz, because I don't necessarily want to shove him into the bag of holding again.
I forget. Is Naz still alive but unconscious, right?
No, dead.
He's dead.
Power word kill.
No,
not
Nax.
Nax.
Nax was
Naz.
power word killed. Maz is dead because he had his head chopped off.
Yeah.
He was pulled apart by...
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's dead, but he's like dead, like regular dead. So he's, weight and shit.
Not slightly dead.
Yeah.
I think I put his head back on, right? Did I do
You
that with the? I
prestidigitated
mended
him
his
back together,
head back
yeah.
to his body. Yeah.
How secure is it?
The head?
Yeah. Like, is it like? I don't know how powerful
You're
the
just
prestidigipen
gonna
is. Like,
carry it and
is
the
it
head just
literally
goes thunk.
like? Is the skin holding it on, or did like the muscle?
Oh man, I hope that
skin-
it just stretches, like it just.
yeah.
Oh,
That-
man.
this is why I'm asking. I don't want to stretch Armstrong this bitch while I'm carrying him down the wall. Like, just the head
So-
just slowly gets longer and longer till it starts hitting the ground.
For the most part, it's mostly just skin that has been reconnected together. There's a couple muscles here and there that are somewhat fused together in a kind of a splooge. This is not a great tool for doing this.
Yeah.
So just be careful. It is one good...
You have to.
It's
carry,
one good hereditary from being just knocked off again.
Oh God. You
If-
have to carry the baby essentially. Cradle the head and carry the baby.
Make sure its giant
the head,
head
Johnny.
doesn't snap its tiny neck. Yusuf kind of looks at it.
Thankfully, we won't have like any road signs that we're driving past.
Right. The neck, the head on the neck is a little bit longer than it normally should be.
Yusuf
It's
kind of
just-
looks at her and goes, not to sound cruel, but it might travel better in the bag.
I am not walking up to the carnival with my brother in a bag.
I'll appear in the doorway and I'll be like, fair. I mean, we just have to cross the entirety of the town with, Can we just like bag him until we get to the sink and then we can pull him out? Like, things are quiet now in the dead of night, but shit's gonna get really real really soon.
Dazzlin, I will happily carry him. I'm worried about the integrity of the body on the trip, and I don't want it to be distasteful when we get there.
I am so sorry about this, you guys. I'm just going to preface this ahead of time because I do not like that Taslin wants to do this right now.
Okay.
So, Kobold, shut up. I understand. You don't like it either. I get it. So, I am going to just kind of like, there's almost like, it's a very visible shift. And I just sit there and go, fine. And I take the bag off and I throw it like at the foot of the bed.
No.
And I'm like, have at it. And I walk out.
I'll look up at Yusuf and be like, well, now I don't feel like.
I'll take care of it, and I put him in the bag.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you guys.
And I will carry the bag in both hands
Okay. So
until
then
we get like around the corner from it, and then I
Yeah.
will take him out and carry him.
Okay.
So,
gingerly
Who's got Nax?
I do.
You got
Yeah.
Nax. Okay.
all right, well, I came up here to talk to both of you, but Taz is.
Everything all right?
I want to try to get Kiki somewhere safe. And I know we need to get back to the carnival. But I'm wondering if we should detour just to give her an escort. I don't know what's waiting for her.
He looks at the bag and the bed and the room, kind of, and looks back at him like, I don't think now's a good time.
Okay, fine. All right.
Call it a
There
hunch.
is one more person who's kind of chilling in the main like kitchen downstairs, sitting at the table. Who came with you?
Fee.
Oh, fuck, Fee's here.
She's been
Totally
very
forgot
quiet.
Fee's here. So I'll go back down and I'll just be like, oh, fucking Christ. And I'll come down and what is Fee like? And I'll do an insight check if I want, but like, what's Fee's vibe right now? Like, what's... Hey, look, it's another 1, but guess what? That 1 becomes a 10, which becomes a 21.
Yeah. A harsh come down after an exciting night.
Sure.
You've encountered this maybe once or twice before after long bouts of partying and all that, where the revelry wears off, the the drug and the orgies.
Right.
All that winds down.
And
This
then
has the
there's
added kind of benefit of she watched a lot of death happen.
That refractive clarity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a lot of clarity and confusion at the same time. Weirdly enough, two sides of the coin, and she's just sitting at the table, very dazed, but aware. She sees you come in and looks at you, and then back straight ahead. She's not.
I'll come up and be like, dearest Auntie,
Yeah.
so I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you have. I don't know if you keep a journal in a clutch or whatever, but like, I let the family know what's going on here. My worry is that some of this might get pinned on you, and by proxy, us. There is, and at some point, I think that you were aware of this intent by the family to try to, and I will try to just like wait till Kiki's like a little distracted. Groom that one as a replacement for Bonham. So obviously we're 2 Bonhams out of 3. So she is kind of a person of interest. Now and I'll look over at the other corner where Taz is just fuming with the body of Nax, and I'm like, I've got to get her back to the carnival. What do you say? I mean, sometimes in moments like this, a bit of a job is clarifying. Purposeful.
Yeah.
Can you help get Kiki back to her home to collect some things? Either stay with her. I'm worried that, again, I don't know how well other people know our intention to elevate her to, but...
She looks at Kiki just from the
just
open
like
door.
burp, 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 burp.
And Kiki
like,
is kind of looking around.
Yeah.
She's distracted.
But
Her.
I don't listen. At some point, things come down and we do what we're told. You know what I mean?
Tiamat lays down the law.
And we salute and carry out our duty.
Yeah, okay.
Go with her to her home.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not safe there, come back here.
Okay, yeah.
And we're going to head to the carnival and try to figure out what we need to do next.
Sure.
Do you need to get back into the castle? Are you going to try to get home? I mean, I feel like...
She laughs.
Yeah.
A little bit more loudly than maybe she should.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. Free agent. I may stay here. Who knows?
All right.
My time is done there.
Yes, well, we're at the carnival. We may need to get back into the castle. We're trying to figure out what our next move is. But let's catch up sometime in the morning.
I'll write you
Okay.
in the little
Yeah.
booky thing. Okay. She sighs, takes a deep breath.
Yeah.
And just the clarity, the downerness,
Right.
the somberness
disappears.
She puts on her outfit. Okay, let's go.
Big hug.
Keeks, yep.
Big hug. Little grab by the horns. Just kind of put our foreheads together. All right.
All right. Yes, I will do this, and I'll keep in touch. She scurries out, and you hear just, Keeks, let's take a walk. Let's go, shall we? And she saunters off with her, seemingly back on her moment of distress, masked once more. And yeah, so she's following her to her residence to go get any supplies that she might have that might be useful. And
I'll hum a little tune, and pet Hous a little bit. Maybe like, Hous, other than the 6 people that were here, for the moment, you should treat anyone else that tries to enter hostilely. Okay?
the house shifts. Hous shifts a little bit. There's a bit of a ripple along where you're touching the house.
Yeah. Eat up, buddy. All right?
It acknowledges.
All right. I open my mouth and I let Hous put a pseudopod the whole way into it. And then I chew on it, like, with the teeth, like a big gumball. No, I'm just kidding. Man, guys, I love the table that I sit at, but looking across at you two both, the fact Tony's usually with me, but I broke Tony, which makes me feel weirdly proud. But I just like, just holding your mouth, just... anyway, none of that, but I just get little pets.
God.
And I'm like, well,
Wolf.
shall we cross town before everybody wakes up and finds out they have no king?
I'm already kind of on my way out the door.
Cool. So then, yeah, you guys start to make your way towards the sink. Let's do another stealth rolls all around.
Okay, and I am also going to do a stand. Unless you want me just to use my passives, John, but I want to do a perception as well.
Your passives are doing work, but your mind is alert. You're aware of any sort of ramifications, so you're doing extra.
Okay.
So.
I will say, during this time, I'm going to switch out of the priestly robes and put my armor back on.
Cool. Okay. So like the 10 minutes or whatever before you guys head out, sort of deal.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think it's 5 minutes to dawn. Actually, I think it's even less than that because it's just the breastplate. But yeah, in that time I'll switch gear.
Cool. 18 on the stealth check and another natural 20 on the perception, which turns into a 31.
31. Nice.
Man, I had a 15 and a 4, so I got a 5.
Okay.
So my armor's back on.
17.
17. So, natural noise from Yusuf. Tazlin, you're a bit more zigzaggy now that you had a little bit of time, and you're kind of focusing on that part of traversal just to get your mind off of some things. Partway, maybe halfway to the sink, Feder, you hear in the distance, not up in the Neil, but somewhere further north, deep within the city of Skypoint, you hear an explosion. But far enough away that it's more
And I just kind of like,
That's it.
as we're all moving in, I was like, well, looks like nobody decided to take a nap before the revolution started. Really wonder who's doing what up there. And we'll keep moving.
Okay. And then, yeah, you get back to the Carnivale Mysterio. The drow sentries up on the mast, and a few on the top deck catch, like, they see you coming, and there's a quick bird whistle. And sitting on the plank before getting onto the boat, you see Talonthane waiting for you all. And Yusuf, you mentioned before that you were taking the body out before you got there.
Yeah,
to carry
yeah,
the
like,
mask.
because we've been here before, so I know, like, when we're getting close, like,
Yeah.
I'll just kind of open the bag and pull it off the body into my arms and kind of cradle the head and put the bag back on my hip and walk
Yeah.
from there.
And you all see Talonthane as he's sitting there towards on the gangplank, almost on it. He is taking a smoke. He is a bit restless, and he sees you and sighs and takes a really long drag and flicks the smoke away and stands. He doesn't say anything, but he looks at you all.
I don't even stop, like, not phased by anything. Just give Talonthane a quick look and a whistle that he would recognize as being like, just follow me, you know? And keep walking into the Carnivale, into, like, down and into Nax's chambers.
Okay. You make your way down. He follows silently. The other sentries resume their post of watching out. As Feder, you come in, and Yusuf, you come in. Feder, you catch that there is more of a defensive look about them. They're on alert. Their leader is gone, which generally puts everything a little bit more clamped down. And yeah, you make your way down into that lounge area. Do you make it into Nax's room or the lounge that has the table with the apps?
Oh,
and the books?
no. I'm going for Nax's room.
Nax's room?
Yeah.
Perfect. You get in there, and do you, Yusuf and Feder, do you follow her?
Oh,
and
yeah.
them in?
I'm like, so I've put on a very stoic demeanor, but, you know, with all of the nods and knowing reverence to what is going on. And yeah, I'm just gonna follow the leader on this one.
Yep.
And on the way down, I'll actually, like, spot somebody and just be like, "Oi, you, come here." And I'll kind of toss my head towards Yusuf with Maz and be like, "He needs to be dressed for a burial."
Yes, ma'am. Random drow.
Yeah, random drow number 45.
As I hand him off, be like, be careful of the head and the neck. It's
Okay.
It's
And I'm gonna just whisper and be like, and if you can have some food and drink sent down, that might be a good thing too. Thanks. But try to just like not.
baby's a little hangry.
I'm a little hungry. Yes. So yeah, we'll head down into.
Sure. And you make your way in to the room. Talonthane is following Taslin's lead. The whistle communicated a lot to him, whether you guys realize it or not. And what are you doing, Taslin?
So I'll go in and lay Nax's body on the bed, and just turn to Talonthane and or actually no, before I say anything, I walk over to Yusuf and I take my bag back. And then I'll turn to Talonthane and kind of flat-faced just be like, "Did you know about this plan of his?"
Talonthane scowls. Scowl's not necessarily the right word. He furrows his brow and frowns. No.
Okay.
If I had, I'm not sure I would have let him go through with it. Or at least I would have tried not to.
I wouldn't say dying was a plan of his, but it certainly was a possibility he was aware of, betted on, I guess. So that's where we're at. Has he moved any of the documents that he used to hide?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
Nothing's been touched since he left, which I suppose raises its own questions.
Did he leave you any instructions?
Not for this evening. More so if anything were to happen to him. I have a generalized order of operations.
I just raise my one single brow and kind of like hand towards the body.
Well, the long and short of it is I would take over leadership of the Carnivale unless a successor was named by Nax himself or any sort of other arrangement was made. And it would need some sort of proof on his part if that was the case, and I would have to honor that.
I go over to the desk and kind of like rifle across the papers that are on top to see if he left what we talked about out or if he stashed it away and if I need to go find it.
What was that again? Just remind me.
Well, because part of it was me giving him the ring and he was going to, in exchange for the ring, leave everything
To you.
to me. Yeah.
And then didn't he give you another ring?
Yes.
Okay, so that would
Which
be...
I'm wearing.
Right.
It's on my thumb.
Okay, so that would be the thing. So
Okay.
Abigail, stop
So probably what would end up happening is I'm rifling over the papers and stuff like that, and Talonthane probably would notice the ring on my thumb at some
Yeah.
point.
let's see how soon he does. Not too bad. He eventually, as you guys are talking, he eventually looks down. That would be it, wouldn't it? He points to that. That's his. Or was his, wasn't it?
I stop and kind of like look at it and yeah. Yes, it was.
He nods to you. But then it would appear that you are in charge at the moment.
Yeah, I saw that coming. I whisper over to Yusuf. It was, yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, I saw that coming. He's like, well, I guess now I don't have to violently instate her, so that's good.
I just nod for a second and look Talonthane directly in the face and go, I don't plan on allowing him to stay like this for long.
That's fair. You maybe knew him better than I did? Did he mention any sort of way he would want his remains taken care of?
When I say I don't plan on making him stay like this for long, I mean these aren't remains.
He raises an eyebrow.
I'll go. Well, to that end, Tiamat did get back to me, and it seems that his soul is currently not in any of the Hell's registries. It's not heading that way. So.
And I just kind of take a beat and I'm like, it's not heading that way because I have it.
Well, all right then.
Talonthane is immediately now locked eyes on me like, do explain.
I was like, you weren't kidding.
He, the son of a bitch, as he is, foresaw this and made a deal with me for an item that I had that would particularly give him a chance to be preserved.
What kind of item? What do you mean?
I hold up my other hand, which has the ring of mind shielding on it.
One of your rings?
Yes. And my intention is to get this asshole out of this ring and back into that. And I point at his body.
Yusuf, any
I
thoughts
see.
to that end?
I don't have any magic powerful enough to do that. We could maybe go and see if there is a temple in town.
I'm gonna kind of like While Yusuf is musing about that, I'm gonna lean down to you and I'm gonna be like, no offense, but how is your patron going to feel about any of this, right? Her vibes are generally much more that things are this nature are a bit one-directional.
It's not that they're one directional. She's much more angry about people attempting to cheat. And I don't know. There's just something about this that is less cheating and on his end and more cheating on the other end.
Fair.
He didn't try to make himself a lich. He was just smart about not dying.
A lich, you say? Granted, Talonthane is not quite as up to date on things as Nax would be.
Sure.
You guys are. So lich is like, he understands what that is and how serious it is, but he hasn't heard of that sort of activity.
So,
A lich, you say?
Speaking merely figuratively, there's ways to create undead. Are in sense cheating death. You're basically like making yourself live longer than you should by a gross use of tainted magic.
yes, but to that end, it seems that our dear friend Bonham might be at least trying to fracture his soul. So,
Bonham is the one that cheated. Bonham is the one that
He did this.
yeah.
He-
Yes.
And Talonthane points about it. He did that.
yes.
Yes, Bonham.
It was me. It was me for once. It was me. I did it.
Bonham broke the chain. That's the only way I can think to put it. I'm not a god of death. I will hopefully never be a god of death. But I don't believe this was Nax's time, and Bonham broke the chain by forcing it. So
Fair. Talonthane, the quick catch-up version of it is this. Things all went tits up, as you can see, in a variety of ways.
Yeah.
But also, the king apparently has been a reanimated undead person for quite some time under Bonham's control. Bonham has also fractured himself into several pieces, two of the, hopefully three of which are currently dead or regrowing somewhere. That said, the realm, the city, first, is going to descend in a moment of chaos. Your enemies, particularly since Nax died very publicly, are probably going to descend on this sink, and more importantly, maybe the Carnivale itself, to try to take over what they're presuming is the vacuum left by Nax, unless we want to make a big deal of the fact that the Devil of the Sink has in fact returned, as is in control. We have a unique opportunity. I mean, there are explosions up on the shelf as we speak, even at this late hour. We have a unique opportunity to both get underground, perhaps rescue the gnomes. But yeah, a lot's going to happen, and a lot's going to happen very quickly. You should be ready to marshal your forces.
what I want you to do, Talonthane, is I want you to get word to those that are in the yawning portal and underneath working.
Gaping Maw.
We did it! We did it again! Here, and I was like, no, it's not the gaping maw.
I really want John to just crudely overdub all of those
Gaping maw.
and just be like, gaping maw,
Like it's not even my voice; it's John's voice. Gaping maw.
gaping maw.
The TikTok voice. Gaping Maw.
Gaping maw.
So, what I want you to do, Talonthane, is I want you to get word to those that are in the gaping maw underneath with the gnomes, and I want you to tell them to pull back. I don't want you to pull them back here. They need to go dark. I want them to be there to protect the gnomes if anything happens, but I also want it to be clear to Bonham that shit has changed.
Okay. I'll send one of our scouts down there and we will go dark. So to clarify, don't bring any of them back. Just have them go dark, have them strategically place themselves, and go from there.
Yes.
Okay. He
Anyone else that is out around the city, though, needs to come back.
he makes a whistle sound that has sort of a dual tone to it, and two drow show up. and he relays that message to each one. One for the scouts out in the city who are keeping an eye on things to bring them home. And he mentions, all right, for you, get down underground, get to the gnomes, and put our forces into hiding. They know the Underdark well enough that they can hide.
Question. Are your drow in a position to take them with you? Like, are they in charge of moving the gnomes and being their taskmasters? Could they just route them and take them with them?
We've come far enough that we need to go down and check that out. I guarantee you they're not the only people.
It is a situation where
I didn't know how much of your manpower they had.
From what Nax, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Talonthane, but from what Nax communicated, they act more as guards than the task workers.
Yeah, they are there to stymie anyone who might try to get down there and get through to the deeper parts of the mines, but they are not the ones towering over the gnomes. There are specifically Dominion guards who are standing over any of the working gnomes with a kill order programmed, suggested to them that if anything goes wrong, all they need is a signal to close the operation down. But we are on the outskirts of those mining operations. We are the fodder for anyone trying to get down there and stop the operation.
But
arm's length is what Nax would refer to it as.
Without that, they are vulnerable, especially if the city is going to start shifting and changing. They are vulnerable, which could be an advantage to the gnomes, and they will stay down there to assist and intervene and liberate if the time presents itself.
How is... This is so shitty. Has any of the food shown up yet?
Not just yet.
Okay.
But you can hear above that there is some scurrying in that general area with your passive, so there's some work being done.
I kind of like see Fetter shift a little bit and just reach over and grab one of the fuck, why can I not think of the name? Okay. So I see Fetter kind of shift and everything like that, and I reach over and I just grab one of Nax's decanters that's full of like various alcohol and like slam it down on the table and the desk in front of him and slide over a glass.
I'll pour myself a drink. I was like, I was really hoping for more of a sandwich, but no, this is great. This is good. No, to that end, how are we collectively? I'm fine. I feel like I could head about on some business. But how are the two of you? Do you need to rest? Do you need to...
I don't need to rest, but I need to yell at somebody.
Talonthane points to your hand. Mm-hmm. Lay it in him for me, too.
I will.
I mean...
Do you want some privacy for that?
Possibly.
Talonthane, do you have an armory?
Yeah. Kind of a basic one down below where the quarters are. We outfit all our drow with that stuff, and it works. It's well enough for what we do.
I like take a deep breath and get a very devious idea and just turn to Yusuf with kind of like a sly look on my face, and I go, Yusuf, here's the key, and I throw him the key to the hall.
The hall of oddities?
Yeah, and I go ahead and borrow anything you feel like you might want to use for now.
My eyebrow perks up, and I'm like, well, that's very interesting. And I go, well, Yusuf, shall we? I mean, we're several hours to sun up, if not close to it. Should we try to take our rest so that we're ready for when the rest of the city wakes up? We're already going to be at a bit of a disadvantage.
You know, I gotta say, it's been a very long night, but I feel fantastic. I leveled.
Yeah, John, mechanically, I mean, I still have my hit points down from the fight. Like, you haven't
rested, so you haven't
rested.
You technically you would have gained your hit points from your level, but not like you would have adjusted that to still have some of that missing.
Yeah, like all of our any spells, you guys, like we would be down spells. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think it reset
When you leveled?
everything when I leveled. Yeah, no, you're right. We should probably take a rest. Let's go take a look at that
I'll follow you.
area again. John, what's in there?
And as he's walking out, I just kind of shout after him like, "It's on loan."
Of course.
You've got it. What's the you got it, Captain. Carnival Master? What are you? What is your thing now? What is your title?
That's mistress to you.
Mistress. Can we... So...
Ringmaster, I think, is the
Ringmaster. Point
Oh
of...
God! And then I just look at my rings.
As
I'm
we're
like,
walking...
Yeah, he says it just nonchalantly, like
Yeah.
not. I think it's actually a ringmaster. For a carnival.
from
Tessa
down
looks
to
at
the
her
hall,
hands.
I was like, when this all settles down, can we work on getting some rides in here or something? And then I just like grab you. So
At least
And
it's tilted.
I just look at Talonthane and I'm like, it's so dumb because he grew up on ships. He knows.
it's a carnival. It's not. And I was like, maybe just some cotton candy.
Talonthane grunts. Do you wish to be left in here alone as well? I can let you be.
Yes, please.
All right. You know how to lock this. Mm-hmm. I'll be above deck, ensuring some other orders take place and keeping a general eye on things.
I love that my long rest is 4 hours of yelling at Nax.
So he goes upstairs. He leaves. You two, Vedder and Yusuf, go into the Hall of Oddities, which you see all the items that you saw before.
Yeah. Can you remind me what's in there?
Yeah. So when Nax gave you the tour, he mentioned that there was a red-bladed sword with an ornate black hilt and handle. He called it a Vorpal sword. There was a leather-bound.
I don't need that.
There was a leather-bound volume with a desiccated tongue pinned on the front, chained shut with simple chains. He called it the Tome of Stilled Tongue.
Definitely don't need that.
There's an empty cage, or seemingly an empty one.
Don't need a robe of stars. It's already gone anyway.
The cage has a stalker in it, invisible. There's a stand with a lute, a simple worn-looking lute that doesn't appear to have anything special about it, but he called it Lute of the Bard. There's a staff. It looks like it has some sort of fire element to it, a staff of fire. And there's a suitcase with VR etched on it that seems to be more vampire hunting elements. There's also a dragon head taxidermied, a stuffed dragon head, and a hand puppet, and a piece of armor that looks almost wolf-like.
Piece of armor.
Like an armor set. Sorry, an armor set that looks wolf-like almost. He called it an armor of the Berserker. And this thing is scaled, wolf-like. There is a wolf head in the helm. It looks very menacing.
I'm just like, I'm looking back around again, and I'm like, how? Mother.
There's two.
Watch your head.
Motherfucker.
Watch your head.
I was like, how is it that in this entire collection there's nothing here that really does it for me? You know what I mean? You think of like some cute boots or something?
Well, I mean,
A singlet of ass kickery? Is there just like a box of good rings somewhere? Like I don't know
I
about
think
you.
Taslin has them all in her hands.
Well, that's very true. That sword's not anything for you, right? I mean, Mr. Holy Avenger, like you're pretty stacked, right? Stacked and jacked here.
Yeah, no, sword is not what I need. I need something that, honestly, I would take what I have now, but I know that you can make armor out of mithril, and it doesn't, like, it's much quieter. It doesn't have I wouldn't be as loud, basically.
Well, that's, yeah.
So I need something like that, especially if we're going to be trying to get the jump on.
Well, I mean, you're furry and don't wear pants anyway, so what about this wolf getup?
Question, John,
Yeah.
and you can very easily shut this down because I might be breaking your game by this, but considering Talonthane is one of, like, you know, the inner circle and everything like that, did he know the way to get to the other stash that Nax had when they would change out the items in the hall?
You would know that. He probably would. Yeah. You would have an idea about it.
So as Talonthane was leaving, I also tell him, like, maybe show them some of the other things that are available.
Also, John, I know
I will look into it.
I know we've
Yeah, I'm like-
had
Yeah, John searing.
As I pull out the DMG, and it's like, oh shit, generation. Stat generation.
I know. So I know, like, we're pulling stuff in from, like, as shout outs to other things. You said this was the armor of the Berserker and it has a wolf motif.
Yes.
Is this fucking Guts' armor?
Maybe.
Fucking shit.
That's meta knowledge, though.
No, it is. Yeah. I mean, obviously he wouldn't know any of that. But, like...
I mean, it would take some guts to wear it, probably.
I mean, I don't...
It does look light. You can inspect it. These things, you can look at them. There is no like security guard being like, you can't touch this off hours. Yeah. That drow was killed a long time ago.
I'll take a look at the Berserker armor. I don't know if...
If you want to do an investigation and maybe if you have some sort of angle on it from your crafting background or anything you may have... I would allow you to put a proficiency on that.
I'll give you the help in the investigation.
Okay, he can help you with that.
Do you have
too.
Arcana? How does spellcraft, like, how does identifying stuff work now? Do you have to have the spell, or is it just an Arcana check?
There is a spell for identify.
There is a
Does it
spell.
give you a bonus to it?
No, so there's a spell for identify that will identify the item. It is kind of it's pricey, it's expensive. But then you can get if you don't have that, I think, and John, you can do this whatever way you want, but the way that I remember it and the way that I typically do it when I'm running is that if you roll a high enough Arcana, you can understand or pick out some, if not all, of the magical aspects of the item.
Yeah, that's how you use spellcraft in Pathfinder to do it. I'm not trained in Arcana. Are you?
No.
Okay.
I mean, at best
no
you could
tricks
probably
for me.
add some history to it. An angle for you, Yusuf, could be if like you can add advantage in terms of a history check on it, on armor of that kind. But if you wanted to use more of a armor smith, blacksmithing sort of background and add a proficiency to an investigation or a history on that, like there's a couple different angles you can go at with it. With him, it's more of a history angle in terms of how like different types of armors, possibly like armor sets that have a legendary status, things that may have been just textbook knowledge. But if you have a kind of a sense of crafting, maybe that might be an angle to go.
I mean, so
kind of depends on how you want to approach it.
I'm proficient with glass blowing tools. I haven't picked up blacksmithing yet because it's like I have to basically become proficient with another tool.
Glass will
in order to work, or in order to work like blacksmithing. So I guess
glass might not help. Yeah, maybe history with.
I'm not trained in history either, but
he can offer you an advantage to that roll.
Yeah.
Okay. So I rolled a 13 on the die. Proficiency bonus is a 4 if we're going with the crafting angle.
Only for the crafting angle, investigate like on that. If you're doing that angle, but if you're using his help, it's the proficiency bonus wouldn't apply.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the proficiency is more for a crafting angle. If you were going to use any sort of smithing knowledge,
I mean, I guess I'll get. Well, the 13 was the first one that I rolled, so I already rolled twice. Okay. So 13 history would be a 14.
Okay.
If I could use insight, but I don't think that'll work.
It looks menacing. With roughly that
survival wouldn't help.
Yeah, with about a 14, it's hard to get much out of it other than just that it's lighter than you would expect most armor to be. Generally, light armor compensates with magical elements to it, or
right
there.
Is it metal? Is it like what's it made out of?
Actually, that would be use your proficiency on a. I'm trying to think of a good one. History for the crafting angle. So with his help, you kind of were able to figure out that there is sort of maybe a magical element to the armor.
11.
11. It's probably a very sturdy metal, but it's harder to place. Maybe a mithril situation, but seems a little bit different, off. Maybe parallel from that.
Okay.
But hard to say. Like it's not. You don't touch it and immediately go, "Oh, that's mithril." It's like it could be. in parts. But when you're close enough, the armor does seem to be warm to the touch, seems to be inviting.
I mean, as long as you're not going to get your ass kicked, if that would keep you from clopping around everywhere we go, maybe it's worth it for the next little bit.
Well, I mean, this is a cabinet of curiosities, as it were.
Right.
Like, I don't know if any of these items are magical, I'm assuming they are, or if they're cursed. Like, I don't want to...
Sure. Well,
I don't want to put a detriment on what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
this is my... And he kind of sombers a little. He's like, if we need to be stealthy about getting down there to rescue them, and I'm the one that fails that, and for some reason they send off this kill order where they just start killing the gnomes, I don't know that I could ever recover from that.
and I just like hand on the shoulder, and I was like, understood.
I will
Fully
not
understood.
be the death of my people. That's not what's happening.
If anything, you're teed up to be their savior, so.
Well, I didn't do very good the last time. I wasn't even there.
Well, you're here now.
So he'll...
It does feel light to the touch. As you shift it on the stand that it's hoisted with, it moves very easily. It is very light.
kind of like... I'll take like the elbow...
Uh-huh.
Is it like full plate? Is it just a breastplate?
Full, all-encompassing, all-covering.
He'll take like the arm and like the hinge where the elbow attaches to the lower arm and the upper arm, and he'll move that back and forth.
Lightest thing you've ever felt.
Is it noisy?
No.
Kind of raises an eyebrow.
Like Feder, even with your passives, you don't hear him moving it.
I'm like, well, this might be a possible solution, friend.
You know what? I'm gonna do a survival check. If this is like this wolf motif,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna roll survival and see if I can glean anything off of it. Like if it's made like, does it? Okay. I'm gonna look inside the armor. Are there prongs or anything that would actually dig into the skin?
The best you can probably take the pieces, like the natural joints where you would take things off, like the gauntlet or
Yeah.
the helmet. You can move those pieces off. They're just latched right now on this stand, so you can move those pieces off and look inside, and it's smooth. And as you touch it and move it around, it is warm to the touch, and very warm, but nothing abnormal. It doesn't go too hard against your resistances or anything like that.
Survival check of a 17, if that gives me anything. Like, basing it off the knowledge of, like it has a wolf motif, it's silent, it's warm. Like, is it made for, like trying to encompass the essence of a wolf? Like, is it... Because I like, out of game, I don't know what Guts' armor did. I never got deep into the story enough.
Well, it's not like it would be a direct copy either. There's
Right, yeah. But like if I put this on, I don't want to get fucking lycanthropy. Or like if there's spots where it digs into like if the armor would be like pierced and like actually prong in so that like it adds something to your blood or takes out blood or something. We've got
Gotcha.
enough of that bullshit happening with all like the other stuff that we're doing with the sterile gems and shit.
even though it has like a wolf motif, it seems to be more of not so much like lycanthropy, because there's not even any sort of etchings of like moon motifs or anything like astral or anything along those lines that would suggest maybe there is a lycanthropy element to it. You usually, I mean, you've encountered a few things in your time in Kenya, and even every now and then checking out some there's a lot of knowledge to be had in Kenya just sitting out there in the open, and generally there are some hints at any sort of armor that would suggest maybe something to that element, if there was something along those lines, like maybe a moon or a runic transformation or something along the lines. This just seems to be more predator, more passionate's not necessarily the right word, but more
Like primal feeling.
There's more of a primal predator hunter vibe than a werewolf vibe. and that's more instinctual based off of your 17 roll. You feel like there would be little triggers in armor that would let you know, or little red flags that you could see that would say maybe this is more of a werewolf thing. But also, there hasn't been any sort of like, you haven't really encountered anything like that, so it's not like...
Feder,
Yes.
can you take a look at this and see if basically like what you kind of just said, like, is there anything about this armor that you see that makes it feel like it would be a detriment or a loss of control or
Sure.
anything? Like I'm looking over it. It feels smooth, but and I basically tell you like my thoughts about like, I know that there are some types of actual, not material components, but practical elements in magic that is tied to armor that would like transform you or that would curse you or something like that.
Listen, I get it. I had to bully my knife into submission.
I once saw a shield in the Hells that you wore it, and there was the face of a demon on it, but the way it attached you was 2 iron spikes through the arm.
Sure.
And it wasn't
All
good.
right. Eye for detail.
Sure thing.
It's a 17, which becomes a 28.
Sure, and
For clues and hidden details.
you notice, Feder, that the armor itself is fairly free of runic activity, design. It's fairly smooth, but shaped more primal, wolf-like. Mm-hmm. There are a few little spots that seem to suggest like little notches that kind of have a runic element to them within deep inspection.
Right.
But if from your history of things, not necessarily versed in armor so much, but you would know that as a precaution or as a way to maybe mark something as part of a set, this could be that sort of thing. You've done this with documents. You've done this with even weapons, where it's like a notch that has a little bit of magic into it that maybe identifies it like, you know, a VIN number, as it were. But like this is part of a set.
Yeah.
And that
So it's like a maker's mark?
A maker's mark that responds to the other pieces together, like magnetic clicks into place sort of thing. And you even can see that the pieces join together well. For you, Feder, when you're handling the armor, I'm assuming you're doing that to inspect it, yes?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel... It feels fairly cold to you.
Yeah. I mean,
Not very warm.
here's the thing, right? There's not a whole lot going on here that I can see. I mean, I'm definitely not Mr. Magic Man. It's not my vibe.
No, that's
But all I see here is some runes. They seem to be largely identifying. So I mean, I think you're good. Like if all I see is benefits at this point. And I know that you all are a lot more attached to, or at least you are a lot more attached to your armor than I am. But
That's 3.
why is it me? But I don't know. Give it a try. I desperately need a sandwich. So
And as that thought crosses your mind, there is a scurry of steps, and Vanity comes down herself.
Vanity.
Hi.
Hello.
I heard you guys were back and that things were pretty dire, and we wanted some food. So.
Yeah, and the pass arounds at the you'd think that for something that exclusive,
The quiche was so dry.
It was not as robust as one would hope.
Indeed. Well, here, she hands you a plate, and it is a basic sandwich, if you will. Got a lot of seasoning on it. Sorry that the meat itself is not too exciting. I just put a bunch of seasoning on there to, I don't know, flavor it up a bit. I do apologize.
No, listen, bully for you. Yusuf, I'm gonna go find some place to pass out. I think
Sleep well.
I'm nervous that we're gonna wake up in the middle of the afternoon and the whole thing's gonna go to shit.
Yep. Nope.
On my way, I'm gonna roll a smoke. I'm gonna head down the docks, and again, I want to try to use that like because I imagine we're like 4 or 5 in the morning, John. Like, what are we looking at?
Yeah, about 5.
Okay,
Kind of towards the end of it.
I'm going to try to find just like a low level street urchin-y type, maybe not like a child, but maybe just like somebody I can toss a gold at to run a favor for me
Sure.
with my criminal background.
You find one. As the youth of the sink are starting to emerge.
Yeah. So toss him a handful of silver and just be like, can you what's our not SmackDown version of SmackDown? Brawl for all, brawl time. Where the third
the show. This what did I call it?
I have it. Hold on.
It's Smashtown, and I think it's a SmackDown at Smashtown.
the SmackDown to Smashdown?
But I have a way of mixing those up a lot myself as I
Sure.
wrote them. So
John, I love all your references, but I'm just like, so Friday Night SmackDown,
that is the danger.
Yeah, Smashdown.
Smashdown? Yeah. Friend,
Yes, sir.
we're in town on a little bit of a visit, and I hear that Smashdown's a thing.
Oh boy, yes, it is.
So why don't I hand you 5 silver? You know what? Just take a gold. Fuck it. In this economy, he's getting.
God damn.
I look at his eyes, and I'm just like, this whole town could be like a complete flaming. Like, he might need this gold piece anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, here, take a gold piece. Do me a favor. Get me the card for Smashdown for tonight and tomorrow night, and deliver it to the guard here at the Carnivale. Yeah.
Okay.
I just really want to see who's fighting.
Sure. Will do.
All right, thank you.
Right.
And I head back to the boat, finish my smoke, and then I'll probably find my spot up at the stern, where I had kind of curled up the last time.
Sure.
And at least try to zone out for a bit.
Yeah.
Does Talonthane come in and offer other options?
He comes in, but he mentions that you'd have to go to them. Like, he apologizes. There are some other things, but we'd have to take a trek to get it, which could be a bit of a time-consuming thing. But
Do you
I have
know-
a vague idea. Like, what kind of things are you looking for? Did nothing here work? I see you. Like, you're still standing by the armor, I assume.
Yeah.
I see you're looking at that. I wish I knew more about that. That one's the one we know the least about. You could always. Depending on if you've ever visited her before, we know kind of a strange creature in the sink who can kind of
The
figure out those things, but she is a bit weird.
one that lives in the nest, so to speak.
Yeah, the little bird shack in the middle of a sunken square. Yeah. If you can endure that weirdness, she can probably tell you everything you need to know about that. If you have someone with magical know-how, but
She's busy right now.
yeah,
I don't know.
it would take some time to do a full inventory and go to the actual place and make sure that we weren't seen.
All right then. He starts taking off his armor
You gonna
and
give it a try?
yeah, putting
Okay.
the other one on.
Mark it down. In the 5 minutes, it takes only 5 minutes as you start getting the pieces on. Talonthane even helps you cautiously, just kind of keeping an eye on things. You notice that it starts to match to your form a little bit more properly as you wear it. Originally the armor had regular legs, not the satyr style legs. That changes as you get into it, and it matches your satyr legs. And as you wear it, you sense a lot more ease of movement, and the armor seems to be much more responsive to you, and it feels warm, maybe slightly above comfort of warm, just heated. And as you get the last piece on, the helm recedes a little bit to give you more room to look around, and seems to stay out of your way. And Talonthane whistles. Bit responsive.
Interesting. Yeah, it is.
And for now, that's kind of all you experience with it. It just seems to respond well to you. The joints seem to work well with your body's movement, and seems receptive to your essence, your being.
I'm assuming. Well, actually, I don't know. Does this require attunement at a game, or is it?
It will. But for now, as just armor that you're wearing, so far, so good.
Okay.
And we'll work on specific stats. But for now, it is roughly the same AC that you have, the same protection that your old armor provided.
Well, I mean, if this is full plate, it'll go up because I was wearing half plate.
Then yes, it would be whatever the full plate is.
Okay. Since this is on loan right now, I'm going to put the half plate in the stand.
Talented nods. Sure.
Just as a place marker, so to speak.
I'm sure the new boss will appreciate that. And he has just the faintest hint of a smile.
What does the helm look like? You said it had like a wolf motif. Is it like an open wolf head?
Open wolf head that now has receded back almost hood-like. Just kind of, now that you're in it, has given you space.
When I put it on, like, does it like make space for my horns and everything?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is, it does look good on you, I have to say.
I mean, I won't lie. It feels good. It's warm.
Really?
Yeah.
He touches it. Yeah, it feels pretty cold to me.
You know, it's a little bit above body temperature. I'm curious if...
Well, if you wish to test it when things have calmed down, we can, and see what we can get out of it. A little scrap.
Sure.
Maybe not the best, as you still need to rest, but...
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do that now. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And,
he's gonna go find a place up on deck.
Sure.
Like towards the bow of the ship, so to speak, where he would normally sit. And I think actually Gallahan is still just kind of chilling up there.
Yeah. Looks a little impatient at you.
Sorry. He's gonna nestle down and he's gonna not take the armor off, but like leave it on and see just how comfortable it is.
Okay. As you nestle down and relax, it doesn't feel like plate armor in the way that you would not get a good night's sleep with. It accommodates you.
Okay. Since he's not wearing the priestly robes and everything, I'm gonna take off the glove of storing and put that in the bag with the robes.
Okay.
As well, so that because I had to attune to that.
Sure. Getting all the attunements.
Well, I mean, like, because you can only have 3.
Right.
So he's going to take that off so that if the armor does need to, like, do something, it can, and it's not going to be blocked.
Sure. Yeah. And do you have your sword out of the glove thing, or?
Yeah. It's back in its regular scabbard.
Sure thing.
All right.
Cool. And you find a place, and you have a surprisingly good relax.
One of my cousins claims that he contributed a super powerful magical item to the Hall of Oddities, but he also said that he time traveled to the future and saw giant metal birds that carried people inside their bellies and traveled around the world. Anyway, it's time for me to hop the heck on out of here, but I'll be sure to be back before too long with more developments in these Demon Days.
Lavo's on the thing. Okay, so then that is me.
Me. Abigail,
Kobold.
knock it off. No.
No. Absicles? No.
No, Kobold.
A bold kobold name, baby. No.
Abigail. Hey. Get it out now, because when we start recording, either you're gonna be quiet or you're going to the bedroom. Mm-hmm.
Here's my prediction. She's going in the bedroom. Let's see.
Right, 'cause we're rolling, right?
Yeah, I'm recording just to have it recording. Excuse me. So you guys got settled in for the show in the last session, getting a look at the board and all the pieces moving about in the theater. Feder, you clocked the hand of Cania members in the box next to Nax and Taz. You also clocked Viscus and Aegis, who are in the box next to Yusuf and Fee. You also saw Esvel, Bonham, and Aphrodite in the King's box with a replaced Lugarius. Fee was confessing something to Yusuf about something she did in Feder's past. The hand of Cania starts their look for Yusuf. Feder and Fee bathroom cavilled Viscus, and Fee banished her back to Dis.
Henry Cavill in the bathroom with the
Yeah,
reloading your arms.
you
Because if I showed up to the Carnivale Mysterio with just Nax and not and Nax is dead and not Naz, I would be like, this is gonna be bad.
all right, 2 dead drow.
Sorry, guys.
Special delivery for
All right.
Jonathan.
So,
So I'll kind of speak us in,
okay.
and then we will jump right in.